Welcome back to another episode of The Richie Rich Chemist. This channel is all about careers in basic science. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press that bell notification so that you don't miss another video. A common complaint that you hear from students, especially those from tier 2 cities, is that they are not exposed to enough research during their undergraduate days. Well, today I have with me Sahana A, who is currently a summer research intern at the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. She's here to tell us all about how she got the internship and why should a student at the undergrad or postgraduate level take up internships in premier research institutions. Can you tell us your academic journey so far?
I did my BSc from St. Aloysius College, Mangaluru. During my BSc journey, it was it was COVID time. I could spend only a third year and first semester in offline campus. Rest of it was online. I joined MSc in Christ University, Bangalore, and here my specialization is general chemistry.
How was it being a chemistry student in COVID? I used to terrorize people in the lab. How did you manage picking up the skills?
During COVID time, I started preparing for IIT JAM, and there was a teacher called Harshita Kurana. She was my biggest inspiration. She was the one who guided me how to go for internships. During COVID time, I was thinking, okay, we are having online classes. What about my practical knowledge?
So during your BSc, you were a research intern at the National Institute of Technology, Karnataka. How did you get there and what did you learn from that internship?
First of all, I started to see the faculty profile pages and I found many new topics which I never heard. I randomly mailed many professors, but there was one ma'am who replied me. She was a computational chemist and she told to join the lab. There was no stipend. 1 month I could go for my internship. I learned Linux and GROMAC software and water simulations. I learned that chemistry is not about experimental only. It's all like theoretical chemistry also exists. Instead of wasting time in the experimental lab doing trial and error, first we can learn computationally how the things go and then we can go to the experimental lab.
The latest episode we have is about my junior who is a computational chemist. I hope you've watched that.
Before I joined that internship, I didn't know that computational chemistry exists, but it realized me that it is not my research interest.
Sometimes you also need to know what you don't want to do, right? Things might sound very fancy, but when you actually go in there, you might know that, okay, for me, this is not the best thing. Now you are doing a summer internship at the Indian Institute of Science. Can you tell us how you got this internship and what are you working on?
I had this dream that I should do one internship at IISc. We had an opportunity to go for 3 months internship. I started to do some research about the different professors at IISc. Many professors I mailed and this professor replied, and I went to IISc. I met this professor personally also, and I thought that these lab members will help me a lot, so I joined. Currently I'm working under Abhishek Mondal sir's lab at SSCU department in IISc. I'm working on synthesis of SCO complex and its characterization. So these will be having several applications in the electronics field, like in some kind of switchable molecules or in kind of molecular sieves. Crystallography is like you set up a reaction and you won't get a result in 1 or 2 days. It takes like 2 months or 1 month and you fail many times and then you get one crystal. And I'm learning 2 methods like layering and slow evaporation. And in the characterization part also, I'm learning many instrumentation techniques. Summer research internships are 2 types. One is paid, one is unpaid. Paid one is basically the JNCSR, which releases every year. If you are not selected for JNCSR, this is the other way from where you can get into the summer research internship. This is not a paid internship.
More than the money, it is the experience that you're gathering and the amount of information that they are imparting onto you. Indian Academy of Science also has their summer interns, right? At both graduate and postgraduate level. Coming from a tier 2 city, the general impression I see among students is that you need to be super genius in order to be part of a research unit. What do you think about it?
It's not necessary to be a genius or a rank student to get into this premier institute. They check your interest towards the subject and you should have a basic knowledge. First impression is the best impression. So if your mail is very good, do a thorough research about the field which they are working on and include those research topics in your mail also, so that they should feel that you are interested in their work.
Research is more about aptitude and the thirst for learning as opposed to being intelligent, right? It's very sad that students, especially who come from non-English background around schools or colleges think that they have a step back in research. For some reason that hinders them.
Yeah, coming from a village, I was an underconfident girl who didn't know English. You should convey in a good way what you are interested in. English doesn't matter. Language is not a barrier for research.
You being a student yourself, what do you generally think is the biggest fear or myth among students about research careers?
People think research is like entire life I have to study. Once you're interested to do research, then you won't feel like you are more into lab work.
We need to enjoy the process of research and then it doesn't feel like a burden.
Lack of confidence in students. As a research intern or a PhD fellow, they'll have a mindset that will I be able to do this? Without getting into it, they will not know the real thing. With confidence, we should start everything and you will learn during this journey.
What is it that you would have done slightly differently now that you've been there in ISC lab?
ISA lab, it is like completely different world. Starting, it was very difficult for me to get adjusted to the lab culture. People were working till late night also, and this was very a new thing for me. Why they are not giving to work in the lab? Why they are making me sit and read things like this? But later, after working for 1 month, and my mindset it changed a lot. I started to learn new things like spectroscopy. We usually learn the theory part of it, and here it is the real application of the theory what I learned in my masters. How actually the chemistry works. I will synthesize one sample. I'll analyze it using IR, and I'll know which type of functional group is present in that particular compound. When you actually do a research, you will get to know how practically it is used.
What is the advice you would like to give your peers who are studying, let's say, BSc or MSc?
When a student is in a BSc or masters, it's good if they know how to search for research paper, how to read a research paper, how to do literature survey. This basic knowledge is very important in research. When you go to an internship, they will give you many papers to read. If you start reading entire paper from beginning to end, you will not finish.
This channel is my dedication to my teacher, and I'm sure he's taught you as well, Dr. Richard Gonsalves. Tell me, what did you like most about sir?
Richard sir is always smiling. He's always helpful to students. His class was so interesting. We can approach him anytime, and he's a good person, good-hearted person, and very supportive.
Thank you so much, Sahana. I hope this video has given you new insights into how one can approach premier research institutions to get an experience of a good research lab. I hope it has also instilled in you the confidence and taught you the strategy for research internships. Please support the work that we do by liking the video, sharing it far and wide, and of course subscribing to the channel. I will be back with another episode next Saturday. But until then, stay hungry, stay informed.